Let's speak now to Israel's Economy Minister Nir Barkat. Thank you very much for being with us.
Pleasure.
And on the issue of the explosion at the hospital, Israel is insisting that it was not them that caused this. There have, though, been protests across Arab capitals, anti-Israeli protests about civilian casualties. What do they concern you, these protests?
You know, the American President of the United States, very clearly said that it's not Israel. Israel does not target hospitals. We target the militants. The militants that took these kids in captivity. You got a list of 2-month-old babies, 6-month-old babies, children, women that were raped and taken to captivity. These are the monsters that started war with Israel. We didn't start this war, but we will end it. And we only target militants that, by the way, try to use cover behind civilians. And we're basically saying to the civilians, go and get aid at the southern part of the Gaza Strip, okay? Yeah. Leave the militants, because the militants, at the end of this war, we're going to wipe them off the face of the earth. These monsters do not deserve to live in this world.
But the problem is the civilian population is still there, 2 million of the civilian population, and they can't leave. They are allowing aid in. It seems that Joe Biden is, forced Israel to accept some humanitarian aid. Do you agree with that?
Mark, we have to align. This is not just Israel's problem. This Hamas, ISIS people, okay, they're monsters.
But do you agree with aid coming in?
With all due respect, we have no quarrel with innocent civilians. On the contrary, we want to wipe out these monsters that are the worst evil in the world. We're democracies. We believe in human rights. We believe in freedom of speech. We share the same values. The United States, Israel, Britain, the Western world. These people are Sharia law. They want to imply Sharia law. They do not believe in any kind of values that we believe in. We saw the atrocities that they went through. We have to unite, because you know what? Israel's just first in line. Europe is second in line. We're all on the same line. These people don't want to see anybody that is non-Muslim living in this world.
But you are talking about Hamas and those that did what they did in southern Israel. But there are innocent civilians there. Will you stop? Will Israel cease airstrikes while the humanitarian aid that comes through is distributed? Will you stop?
What do you think? You think Israel is going to try to target innocent people? That's what Hamas does. That's what Hezbollah does. These are terrorists that want to kill innocent people. They want terror. That's their method. They don't care about human rights or people. And you just saw the atrocities, okay? We're different. We don't have a quarrel with innocent civilians. And that's why we're saying to them, leave the northern part of Gaza, go to the south to get human aid, okay? Yeah. Because the militants in the northern side of Gaza, what we're basically focusing on, they're going to, at the end of this war, they're not going to exist.
But if you don't have a quarrel with innocent civilians, why don't you lift the blockade, power, water, fuel, medicines? Why don't you lift the blockade if you really don't have a quarrel? No, but if you really don't have a quarrel with innocent civilians.
You remember the Second World War? That's what you did to Germany? These are enemies of Israel. They want to wipe us out. They're our enemies.
But you say you don't have a quarrel with innocent civilians.
Indeed. So
why not lift the blockade?
Bring us the kidnapped back. You want any kind of humanitarian consideration? Bring the over 200 kidnapped people, okay? Use the Red Cross, bring them back to us, and we will consider.
So returning the hostages, you would lift the blockade?
I'm not going to negotiate.
I mean, it's absolutely true
with you on television.
No, but taking hostages is a war crime. That is clear. But laying siege to a civilian...
That's what concerns you right now?
No.
I think the real question is, how do we wipe these people off the face of the earth?
I'm just saying...
This is the question.
I'm saying taking of hostages by them is a war crime, but also laying siege to a civilian population is a war crime. Does that not concern you?
We're at war, and when you have the people controlling Gaza, okay, using civilians to try to to take cover behind civilians, it's not going to work with Israel anymore. We will target them, and we're saying to the civilians, the innocent civilians, don't give cover to terrorists because you're risking your life. Okay? What we've gone through in Israel, we've not seen since the Nazi times. ISIS times, okay? And so Israel will wipe them off the face of the earth.
But airstrikes is a very blunt tool. It's a very blunt
Leave the northern side of Gaza and you will not be hurt.
It's not a precise way to target.
Leave northern Gaza and you will not be hurt.
militants.
With all due respect, you know, this is crazy, okay? You've got a regime that just committed not war crimes, Nazis. We have not seen Jews slaughtered like this since the Second World War.
No, my point is that
And people talking about using our heart to.
I'm talking about you have a very high tech. You have a very high tech military. Isn't there a more precise way, a more surgical way that you can?
We will use
hit
everything
the Hamas
we have.
leadership that you want, rather than this indiscriminate, it seems at times,
Mark,
airstrikes.
These are enemies of the world. With all due
The
respect.
civilians are not.
I've said once, time and time again in this interview, we have no quarrel with the innocent civilians. Don't give cover. Don't give cover to these monsters, and you'll be fine. Go listen to our instructions. We tell people before we bomb. The Hamas enter with surprise and kill innocent people, girls. You know, that party, people went to peace party. Imagine your daughter, people that are listening to us, going to a peace party and get slaughtered. Slaughtered. Why? Because they're Jews living in Israel? This is what they want to do to Israel. If, God forbid, if they win this war, that's what they're going to do to every Israeli.
What
And you're talking to me about our will to not hit innocent civilians? This is totally disproportional.
Has Joe Biden given the go-ahead to an intensified military action? Is a ground invasion, a ground operation coming, do you think?
Mark, we didn't start this war. We're going to end it with total defeat. Total defeat. I just came back meeting some of the soldiers.
Does that involve a ground invasion? Does that involve a ground invasion?
Everything needs to take to wipe them out. We're not going to give those radical Muslim ISIS people no mercy on them. No mercy on the militants.
Final point. You wipe out Hamas. What happens then? Do you reoccupy Gaza? What happens in Gaza? What is the new reality in Gaza?
I promise to come back and discuss with you what happens to Gaza at the tail end of this war. But first, we're all focused on winning this war, and we need the support of the world. This is not just Israel's problem. This is the Western society, the free democratic society of the world against evil and terror. This is ISIS, this is Nazism, and we must win this war together.
Okay, Nir Barkat, thank you very much for coming
sir.
to see us. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much.